Back on the daily grind. I have so missed making content on the daily. It's just something that I feel like I have a burning in the back of my mind if I'm not making daily content. But today we return with the first topic of 2019, which is probably going to be the biggest one of the year. 2019's Need for Speed. We've already made a bunch of videos talking about features I want to see and talking about what I hope it doesn't have missing. Like Payback had a lot of features missing from what made Need for Speed Need for Speed. They did so much wrong. Let's be open and honest here. But they did so much right at the same time. Last year we didn't obviously get a Need for Speed, which really left like a massive open gap in my heart because there's just something about Need for Speed. When it comes to racing, they're pretty top dog. In terms of actually getting into the races and playing them, it's always pretty darn fun. Even Most Wanted 2012, I've got to say openly that I played about 100 hours of the game. It's definitely not my favorite Need for Speed. Everyone has their own favorites. But the thing is with that franchise, it always does a fantastic job at making the gameplay itself fun, which is something that a lot of the other racing titles get wrong. Anyway, as I said, I've made videos talking about what I want, so I'm not going to make this video talking about what I want. It's more going to be what I'm expecting, when I'm expecting it, say the release date of the game, all that type of stuff you probably want to know. So, the announcement of the game. All the two previous games, we had two very different styles of reveal, if you will. So the first was 2015 obviously, and they revealed that pretty early. I think it was like March they did a reveal a teaser, and then throughout the process up until E3 we got teaser trailers and teasers, you know, whatever. We got a lot of teaser stuff coming up with that game pretty early. Well, when it came to Payback, we got a teaser pretty late. It was actually just before E3, I believe, which, you know, was a little bit late compared to the previous one. I think 2015 was a bigger thing because obviously it was the rebirth of Need for Speed, and then Payback was like, okay, let's make a game and then tease it. 2015 was more like, let's build the hype, we're back again, we've taken some time, but we're back again, Need for Speed still a thing. So it was kind of different on that level. This time around it's going to be probably a middle ground of both. Now, I'm not saying that's going to give us the announcement date. I would prefer an earlier date than a later date, but that does mean they need some consistent content to keep revealing up until E3. Little teasers, and how much can you tease, you know? So I personally think we're going to get another later teaser, which will probably be just before E3, like the month of June. As you know, like the 14th, 13th is when E3 is, just before we get EA Play. And EA Play is where they usually reveal and announce and talk about everything EA, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they know exactly what people have been saying. They're pretty open about acknowledging in some terms that they have listened to what the community are talking about. We've got Ben on Reddit all the time replying to things, so he definitely is the ear for the community. He's now obviously on Star Wars. I don't know exactly what's going on with that other than that he's currently juggling more Star Wars because Star Wars is kind of out now, whereas Need for Speed is, you know, it's gone down. So who is it still going to be Ben? Is Ben still our contact point? I don't know. But either way, it's 2018, it's 2019, and every developer out there now is listening to their community feedback. We've got Epic Games removing guns to rebalance them, which is absolutely awesome. Like, it's great that we can have this constant change. And we've got Rockstar Games even listening to people talking about grinding in the game. And we're at a level where games can constantly just switch and evolve a week after they release. So what we're looking at here, I think, is something that's going to release with everything people are expecting. I reckon out of the box, we're going to have PvP. Looking at you, the crew. Out of the box, we're going to have free roam multiplayer. I'm looking at you, Need for Speed Payback. Out of the box, we're going to have police, open world, police chases, not bait crates, whatever that was. And then obviously there's gonna be people, oh, we want this car, oh, Ghost is not listening, they didn't add this car. Listen, okay, we know there's always gonna be those people, and no matter what game, but let's be real, you're the only one that's asked for that car, so stop. What we want is the basis. We want the free run cops, everything that was basically missing as a foundation to the last game. You can add cars as DLC, you can add cars, you add cars anyway. If you don't add new cars into a racing game, what? We're going to be, as always, looking at a EA Play reveal, giving us a lot of detail. Hopefully I'll get to play it and show you some gameplay, which is crazy to think that we're in the year of the game. Because let's, like, thinking about it, people were moaning at how January was dragging on last year, and I felt like January was about a week, if that. This year, I reckon it's going to go even, because as I get older, I feel like as we get older together, me and you, it's basically what time goes faster. That's how it works, right? So in about a week's time, we're going to have Need for Speed announced, like properly, fully, teaser, gameplay, everything. And then obviously later in the year, it's usually November, is when we get the release of the game. Now, it's interesting to look at where we were as a gaming community, not just Need for Speed communities, but in general in gaming. 2 years ago to now, there's been a lot of changes, as I say. Developers listening to the communities more. We've got fan feedback going into the game and in updates. Obviously, Need for Speed was pretty early on the updates. The crew really started that monthly update thing, or every few months update, free updates. Forza is now taking that into account in its own way. So I'm pretty set on that we're going to get updates on Need for Speed, similar to that of Forza and the crew. If it doesn't have them, people are going to moan about it, so it's going to be one of those things that they have to follow, otherwise they'll be called out on it. I think the most interesting point of what Need for Speed 2019 has got to represent is that we've listened, we're fixing everything you've said, bang, here it is. But looking back and thinking about it and how to market that game, they've got to do something different. And I know, you know, we always moan about wanting something different in games, but you've got to look at facts here. The average consumer picked up 2015, picked up Payback, and saw the difference. They enjoyed both. They might have liked one more than the other. It doesn't matter. But either way, both those games was successful. Okay. The reason the Crew 2, in my eyes, added the planes and the boats is because it had to do something different. The map was the same. If the map was different, they wouldn't have had to add those two things. But the thing is with the Crew 2's map, or the Crew's map, is that it's such a significant part of the game, you kind of need it to change. Obviously, we've got story and map that changes on Need for Speed. And, you know, to a lot of people, that might be enough. But to, I'd say the majority, the person that walks into the store and says, I want to buy a game for my kid. What have you got? They like cars. What's the deciding factor there? There has to be something new. Is it new types of vehicle? Because in the last game, they added off-road vehicles. Although we did not really enjoy, the majority of voices on the internet didn't enjoy the off-roading, it was still a new feature and it enticed some people. There has to be a new feature each game to bring people back, other than the basics of it has everything you expect it to have. We're sorry for the last game. What could it be? That's the main question. And I want to leave that to you guys to discuss down in the comments, because I want to discuss with you. I'm one person. I don't know exactly what people would want. Again, this is a point where people can start discussing of what that would make them go, oh, I want that game now. Ignoring, imagining this is the perfect game, they have to add one feature to sell it to the casuals. What is the new feature? And not even the casuals, but the average consumer. I don't think it's boats or planes. Off-road, is it still in the game? Probably, because it was there as a base. Drag racing's already there. It's already got a lot of different categories in the game. What's another car class? Like a hill climb class? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and it is good to be back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the new setup here. I'm going to be doing a video on the setup in general very, very soon. I've got a new racing rig that I definitely want to show you, and obviously the background is half and half, new and old. I'm excited. It makes me want to create, and that's what you want. You want a setup that makes you want to do what you're supposed to do in that place. Obviously, there's also a lot we need to speak about when it comes to developers changing. There's a whole lot of mix-up going on at the Need for Speed studio, which is pretty public by now. Everybody's searching through LinkedIn and such. Obviously, if you don't know what LinkedIn is, it's basically like a work search website where you can see what people are doing, networking for people of the business. So anyway, it's interesting to see what's happening over at Ghost from the outside. Obviously, we get to hopefully know a little bit more on the inside soon. What's changed? What developers changing means, like the direction of the game. Has somebody been told off by the big man EA for not doing good? No, because it was also leaked that Need for Speed Payback got, I think it was like 5-6 million sales on the PS4 alone. And you got to remember it's on 2 more systems, so it's doing fine. It's doing absolutely fine, because it's pretty damn good. Plus microtransactions. But we'll speak more about that stuff very, 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 very shortly. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash like. I'm looking forward to this year. This year is going to be packed full of awesome, awesome stuff. Let's get it going. Until next time, peace.